Alright, let's solve by completing the square. Here I have 2x squared plus 16x plus 23 equals 0. When I'm completing the square, the first step I want to do is make sure that all my variables are on the left-hand side of my equation. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to subtract 23 from both sides. I'll be left with 2x squared plus 16x equals negative 23. My next step, I want to factor out my lead coefficient. In this case, it's a 2. So I'm going to factor out that 2, and I'll be left with x squared plus 8x in parentheses minus 23 on the other side. Forgot my x. Now what I need to do is I need to decide what to add in here. I want to take my middle term, in this case 8, I want to cut it in half and square it. If I cut 8 in half, I should get 4. So I'm going to add 16 inside the parentheses. But pay attention. I'm not really adding 16 to the left-hand side of the equation. I'm adding 2 times 16. So here I'm going to add 32 to the right-hand side of the equation. Why? Because if I do something on one side of the equation, I better do it on the other. Let's take one step and simplify what I have so far. This 2 still is outside. Now what I'm going to do is factor this whole quadratic in here. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 16 and add to 8. In this case, it's going to be x plus 4 and x plus 4, or x plus 4 quantity squared. On the right-hand side, I'm left with 9. When I complete the square, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some quantity here squared. That allows me to solve by taking square roots. So in order to do that, first I want to divide both sides by 2. So I'll be left with the quantity x plus 4 squared equals 9 over 2. Now I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Now we have a fraction here, but that shouldn't throw us off. Square root, so x plus 4 will equal plus or minus the square root of 9 halves. So x will equal negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 9 over 2. We can simplify this square root, so let's just finish that up so our answer is proper. Right now, this says that x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 9 over the square root of 2. Or I can write this as 3 over root 2. Now, we don't like that radical in the denominator, so my final answer I can get by rationalizing. And I'll be left with negative 4 plus or minus 3 root 2 over 2. And we completed the square.